3 left. Myers has it. He blows right by. Gets to the three-point line. Gives it off to Miguel Arnold. Rises and fires. Miguel!
Welcome to the Dip Mitras Show. I'm your host, Chad Cook, but of course, our star is Dip Mitras, the 19-year head coach of Augusta University. He's won more than 500 games, more than 73% of his games here in Augusta. The team is the returning national runner-up, set a school record for wins last season with 33-4. Coach mentioned that in the last 12 months, the calendar year of 2022, it was even slightly better. We'll probably get to that. But before we talk to Coach Dip Mitras and our extra special guest, Tyshaun Crawford, I want everybody to get a taste for how exciting an Augusta University basketball game is via Carlos Rodriguez, the sports editor of the Bell Ringer, the Augusta University newspaper. He's an absolute artist at what he does. You'll also hear Charles McNeil, the voice of the Jaguars, over this video. So here's Augusta in their most recent win, 91-77 victory over Emmanuel College, number 11 ranked team in the nation, 11-1 as we enter the rest of the conference schedule. And we'll come back right after this video.
It's the final day of the year 2022 from the hardwood of Clint L. Bryant Court. It's the Jaguars versus the Lions, and it's about to get underway. Mid-range game is pure. Beaton lining up another one, and it's pure. Nice pass inside. Timmy Sellers with the two-hand throwdown. There's a lock to Kirby, who flushes it all. Picked up by Miguel Arnold. Miguel to the bucket. Nice pass. Ball to the rack and scores. Jaguars will pick up win number 11 on the season.
Coach, guys like Carlos, Charles, there are countless number of supporters. They make the program even better, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I see Carlos up here at practice, and Tyree had told me he was coming, and him and Charles and what you do, Chad, it makes it special for our players, and it gives people, families a chance to follow them when they're not here, and we appreciate everything everybody's doing for us.
Tyshaun, I often call you the center of attention,
yes,
but the team in general brings a lot of attention, good attention from your supporters, right?
Yes, sir. Shout out to C-Rod. C-Rod is always there, recording. You always there trying to get us in front of a camera, just getting us exposure. I think it's a great thing for me and my team, and we just love it, talking to you guys all the time and just showing the people that we are more than just basketball players.
You transferred from Georgia Southern, Division I school, that has like a rich, especially football tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I know they've got probably a great media department and all that, but have you ever seen anything quite like Carlos's work as far as the quality?
No, sir. I mean, you only kind of watch this type of stuff on Instagram from famous people, so to see that we had something so close to home and he's willing to come to the games and practice and put us on film and just clip these little videos together, I just really appreciate everything that he does for us.
Yeah, and one more thing on Carlos. He won the Society for Professional Journalists Mark of Excellence Award 2 years in a row. He's a sports editor of the Bell Ringer, jack of all trades, runs for the elite national championship contending cross country team, and just a great contributor to the program. Okay, Coach, coming off a 91-77 victory over Emmanuel, what's your reaction from the most recent win?
It was a little frustrating because they scored such a good clip against us, and we went back and kind of broke down the film, and we had about 3 or 4 different areas we addressed the other day in practice. Give credit to Emmanuel. They spread the floor on us. They did something nobody did all year, which was basically enter the ball with the guy Tyshaun was guarding, messed up our help and rotations a little bit, but to get a win, and like I told the team before the game, in the calendar year of 2022, because we were playing on New Year's Eve, that win gave us 34 wins and 4 losses during the calendar year. That's really impressive, and it's a credit to the players we have and the staff, and we're just looking forward to having a great 2023, and it starts this week with Georgia College.
Sure does. Now, Tyshaun, again, center of attention. I don't know why I like that phrase so much, but with you being the center, 7'1", Coach always talks about the most important things to figure out at the beginning of every game are how are they going to guard you and who are you going to guard on the other end. Now, in the last game, I think the team did an extra good job of getting you the basketball. Talk about that, getting the ball where you need it.
So first of all, my coaches put me in the right position to play. You know what I'm saying? Rank plays. My teammates know when I need the ball. I think that's an attest to all my guards. They play the game really well. They know the game really well. So when we're in the game, they see the mismatches. They see when I need it. They see when I need to get a shot or we needed to get it to somebody else. I think Gil had a great game. I think he went for like 10 for 11. So just making sure we get it to the right player. We're not selfish guys. We all love each other. So just spreading the wealth, and if it means that I need to get the ball, then that's what happens. But, like, if somebody else need it, then we get it there. Whatever's working at the time is what we do.
You mentioned his guards. With Darren inserted into the starting lineup recently, he brings all that energy on defense. But, we're going to watch the clips of Tyshaun getting the ball so much. Darren actually does an extra good job of entering the ball into the post as well.
He does, and does a great job of cutting. Him and Kirby are our best two cutters. And Tyshaun gets a lot of assists by them cutting because he draws so much attention. Yeah, Darren, when we're starting Darren and Kirby, now we're starting our best two defenders. And, we had some injuries and, you experiment with different things. And I always liked having Darren come off the bench because he could literally play any position for us. But he's earned it. And, years ago, I remember saying to myself, if a kid earns a starting spot, let's put him in a starting spot. And Darren's earned it. And, we have all four of our seniors starting with Kirby, and they're doing a great job.
I guess that's 4,000-point scorers, and Jaquez Kirby, who might be the most talented player to ever come through the program. Yeah. Let's take a look at Tyshaun in action. 21.7 rebounds, 3 blocks. You're averaging 21 on the season points, almost 10 rebounds per game. Let's take a look at Tyshaun in action against Emmanuel College. So Tyshaun, I watch a lot of high school basketball in addition to you guys, and so many times there's actually two really good inside players here in the area that are left-handed like you, and it frustrates me so much when they don't get the ball. They don't get the ball so much, and I counted up on 44 possessions that you were in the game on offense, you got the ball 30 times, and you just never see anything like that on other teams, even other college teams, in my opinion. The guys really do a good job of following the game plan, right?
Yes, sir. We practice this a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's the system we play inside out. If I get the ball, then you get the ball. So I think we do a great job of just like coexisting in the offense, and I think it works out.
Yeah, and there are plenty of examples of that. Like, it's not about you getting the ball so you can score. It's the offense runs through you and he distributes it.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I remember sometimes at halftime I'll say, we haven't gotten a bucket off of Tyshaun's passes yet. And we usually get 1 or 2 a game, and those are demoralizing sometimes, especially a three-pointer or a cut for a dunk for Kirby or Darren. So, yeah, obviously everything starts with him. When you have a system of play, you build around your best player, and there are certain things he can do and certain things he can't do, and we try not to put him in positions to be unsuccessful. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I've got the stats. I messed up and have them too far back here, but Tyshaun, in the country, you're in the top 5 in offensive rebounds per game, free throws attempted, free throws made, and there's another field goal percentage, 71%. the transformation from when you got here to now, I always talk about it, but it is your fourth season here. Mm-hmm. You shot 30% from the free throw line in the non-conference portion of your first season, ended up with for the season shooting 47%. Mm-hmm. Now you're shooting right at 70%. You're shooting 71% from the field. Mm-hmm. Talk about, kind of your journey here at Augusta, from the time you got here to now. What's caused you to be able to transform into a Player of the Year, National Player of the Year candidate?
Just countless sacrifices by my teammates and my coaches, and myself at least. Just staying in the gym, them extra hours, staying out the practice shooting free throws. Coach Dip makes me do it every time. It doesn't matter if it's like a walkthrough or anything. Just making sure I stay. You know what I'm saying? Not getting too high, not getting too low. Because I had a good thing with like getting too mad, like in my first few seasons, you know what I'm saying? Keeping a level head during the game, or like when stuff wasn't going my way, it kind of got to me. So I think me just learning how to be more poised on the floor, on and off the floor, just as a person. I think it took a lot of growing up, but I think I finally got it. And I'm still learning. I still got things to work on, but just growing up, I think I needed a wake up call, and Augusta gave me that, and they believed in me. They don't put me in situations where I would fail or where they want to see me fail. So I think that was a great thing for me as a growing as a person and a basketball player.
You talk about controlling, your emotions and things like that. Mm-hmm. You get hit a lot. Yes. You get doubled a lot. Yes, I know it's a point of contention.
See when we get the pictures from the photographer. Okay, when the pictures the photographer sends us, and people are grabbing his arm. It's kind of funny.
I got a couple pictures. I got a picture from the national championship game. A boy had his whole hand on my face, and it was just crazy.
Yeah. And so you're right. It's admirable that you can keep your composure through that. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I've really noticed this season is how confident you are out there. I mean, you don't seem to. There never seems to be a moment that you don't believe that you're the best player on the court, the most dominant player in the country. When did that confidence really kick in for you?
I want to say probably the run that we made throughout the championship and then the championship game, even though it didn't come out how we wanted to, just to be on that type of stage and to see that me and my teammates could get there. The confidence they did have in me, I kind of just show out there. Like, my teammates really believe in me, and I don't understand why they believe me. Sometimes they shouldn't believe in me as much as they do, but they do. So that speaks a lot. Tyree and them guys, I just can't thank them enough for giving me the ball. I mean, they just believe, so I guess I got to show it.
Yeah, I'm going to add something because he probably doesn't remember this. When he was transferring to us, when we sit in my office, and the conversation, basically, I asked him a question. He said, well, if you believe in me, I'm like, I believe in you, man. Like, I can tell you that already. Like, he wasn't a good as he is right now. I said, I believe you're a good player. He didn't have that confidence when he first came to us. He was like a rescue dog. He really was. He was beaten up and lacked confidence in himself, lacked confidence in others. Lacked confidence in the world, I think, and he just really didn't have confidence in himself. And I remember seeing him years ago when he was wearing those goggles. It wasn't with the Griffin Grasshoppers; it was the other team he was on, and he was playing a game. I go, man, this guy's going to be a good player. And for whatever happened, it didn't materialize at Southern. And I said to him, I got confidence in you, but we're gonna have there's steps to get here, and it's definitely coming to fruition.
Yeah, and you really did a great job of listening to Coach for certain things. I remember when I mentioned the 30% from the free throw line, and you used to stand sideways, and he told you to stop. He said, "Hey, man, you're going to put 10 toes at the rim," and I assume you didn't argue, and you got to work on that.
Yeah, so it took a little while for me to break that habit, but once we got in the gym, it was just an everyday thing, and it just became a habit. So
yeah. Well, so and that confidence thing, I really can't stress it enough. You talk about the run to the national championship. I remember at the game at Aiken.
Started midway through the year.
I want to say it was like 25 points and 12 rebounds, and then Flagler came to our place, same kind of thing, 26 and 11, something like that. You got National Player of the Week, and then it was just such a dominant run. And I remember, like, for instance, the Columbus State assistant coach or maybe head coach, either one of those guys told me or told somebody who told me that when you guys played them in the semifinals and you beat them of the Peach Belt Conference tournament, the comment was something like, if Crawford is going to play well, you just can't beat him. And so, you know, you just really, that in my opinion, that's when you just became such a dominant force. But to Coach's point, and I think you've even maybe posted something about it online, there was a time when you weren't feeling that confidence. And so, you know, was it, you know, you went to Griffin High School, you went to Georgia Southern, you played for Team Forest, what was it, James Forrest from Georgia Tech's AAU team. Did you have, you know, a lot of times taller players is like, hey, you need to play basketball. Did you love the game? Or, you know, were you into the game? Or how did that journey through high school, being the tallest guy, you know, probably growing into your size, how was that journey?
So when I first started, I was interested in the game. I just wasn't good at the game, you know, and I just would play with anybody that would let me play, you know. So like, because at first, like during high school, they were older guys, so I really wouldn't get a lot of rep like that. So I played JV like I played like my first 2 years. And
how tall were you like in 9th and 10th grade?
So going into like my 9th grade year, I went from like 6'5" from 8th grade to like 6'8", and then from my freshman year to my senior year, I grew to 7'1".
Oh,
so
really?
then it was through high school. I want to say I got to 7'1" my junior year at like 7 foot, and then I just grew an extra inch, and then I was praying to God I was done, and then I finally was done.
Why'd you want to be done?
Because it's hard to find shoes and clothes that fit me. And at that time, you know, being a kid and your mom is paying for everything, you got kind of hard. So I was like, oh man, I don't want to put that on my mom. Right. But then once I got to college and stuff like that, I kind of seen that it was kind of easier to find out. I just had to do a little bit more research. So stuff got easier. You know, you find ways around certain things. But just wanted to be around basketball. And then I had Coach Duck, thankful Coach Duck playing for the Grasshoppers. He put me in a tournament, and I actually got to meet with Coach Forrest, and he seen me, and he put me on the circuit enough for everybody else to see me. And I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to Georgia Southern. You know, no knock on them. I appreciate everything that they did for me. I feel like without those moments in Georgia Southern, I wouldn't be able to be ready for who I was. Now Coach Bonds is a great coach. You know, he point me in the right direction, Coach Best and them. And then they got me with Coach Dip, and I got that call, and I ain't never looked back. So it just took a lot of work. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that's all it was for real. I mean, I'm not the easiest to deal with, but it just took a lot of work.
You said Coach Betts. You know, I played for Coach Betts.
For real, you played with Betts?
Yeah.
He was a great coach. I told him
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So now, what you mentioned your shoes. What size shoes do you wear?
I wear a size 18 in shoes. I wear a size 17 in Crocs though.
Yeah. How often, you know, what size shoe do you wear? How tall are you? Do you play basketball? You have to get those questions like every day of your life, right?
It's like my name for real. I kind of get into those questions before they even ask. I'd be like, yeah, I'm Tyshaun Crawford. I'm 7'1", and I do play basketball. You know, my mom said she would give me a shirt one of these days, but she ain't sent it to me yet.
That's great. Well, you know, on the way out, let's talk about some other guys. You know, from that last game, you know, the major points that I think stand out, the hustle and the defensive effort. First, we'll say the hustle and defensive effort from Darren Lucas White, Jacquez Kirby, and David Vitti as well. Coach, you talked about KJ Jones, leading scorer in the nation, 27 points a game. On the last show, you said that those guys, along with Dimitri Gardner, would get a chance to guard him off and on. And, you know, you held him to 13 points. You forced, I think, him to turn it over 5 or 6 times. Yes. Kirby had 5 steals. Darren had a couple steals. You know, competitive stamina. You complained in the post-game interview about guys not guarding in the first half. I think you're more pleased with the second half?
Yeah, you know, first play of the second half, Darren's guarding KJ and a loose ball, and Darren dives for it, and he goes out of bounds and hits his leg, and we get the ball back. You know,
and then the next possession, Tyshaun hit him for a layup.
Yes, and then, you know, late in the game, Tyshaun had a big block on one of their guys. You know, we got to give credit to Emmanuel because, like I said, you know, it was a weird lineup for us to guard, and we kind of were ball watching. We were kind of biting too much on helps, but we're going to get people's best shot, and the fact that a team could shoot a high percentage. And I remember at halftime saying, well, we're not going to shoot this percentage again. We got to hold them. Well, we shot a higher percentage. And like I said, every team that comes in is going to throw something different at us. And they spread the floor, shot a lot of threes, and they were able to make them. And a couple times it was our lack of effort, our lack of communication. But you're not going to be perfect. And like I said, it was nice to close out a win against a very good team, and it gets you kind of ready for conference play. Our schedule, we were talking about before the show started, Tyshaun's minutes are up considerably from 12 games last year because we had 4 or 5 blowouts last year. He's playing 32 minutes a game. And last year at this time, he's playing 24. And his free throw attempts are up because he's confident in making them, but he's also because he's playing more. And, last year, when we were blowing people out, we were trying to build a bench. And, this year we don't have that luxury. We don't have many games that have been easy. And, that was by design. Our players wanted to play better people, and we did. And I'm glad we did. And Peach Bell's got 2 nationally ranked teams, and it'll be a big challenge, no question.
In past shows, we've talked a little bit about, the shooting difference from year to year. Last year, just such an unconscious three-point shooting team with Troy Cracknell along with Miguel, Tyree, Jaquez, everybody making shots. Shot over, I think you're second in the nation in three-point shooting percentage. First 10 or 11 games, you don't shoot at that high of a clip, but this stuff about like Miguel's not shooting well, that has completely changed now. 10 of 11 from the field last game. The guy, Tyshaun mentioned it in the pre-show, the way he's scoring from 2 is a thing to watch.
Well, it was 80%. I think it was 80% of his shots last year's time were three-pointers. This year it's 50% of his shots, and that's because he spends a lot of time in the gym. The other weird factor is, Kirby's injury. Last year, Kirby was shooting a high percentage from three-point land. I gave him a hard time yesterday. I said, you've taken just as many shots as last year, and you've played less games and less minutes. But his roles are evolving. We expect him to shoot more. So it's all a work in progress. As long as we keep sharing the basketball, which we're going to do, and realize it's all about the team. When you get out there, you play for Augusta. You don't play for yourself. We start out the game running high-low stuff for Tyshaun because we knew there was a mismatch, and we ran that more than we had probably in a while. So the players know what we need to do to be successful offensively, and hopefully defensively we'll keep getting better. And like I said, I'm big on field goal percentage. Last year, when you blow people out, they're not going to make a bunch of shots. Well, this year with better schedules, you're playing better people. They're not going to shoot 32%. Good teams aren't going to do that. So I think we'll be okay. We just got to keep getting better.
Yeah, and you mentioned you play for Augusta, you don't play for yourself. I think we had 20 assists last game. That's very evident. But the defense is, you talked about competitive stamina. Are you coming along in that? It's not that you can tell that the guys have it in them. That second half against Emmanuel, offense and defense, 72% from the field offensively. I think 33% from them after a red hot first half. Is the competitive stamina where you want?
It's coming. The true test will be when you go on the road now, play road games. Can you do it defensively? Does defense travel? And it usually does for us. And that'll be the big challenge. We got 2 on the road coming up at Georgia College, at Young Harris, and different styles of play. But we'll our guys have been good in practice. When you have an older group like this, you got to change how we practice. And they don't even realize some of the things we've changed in practice. But, they want to play 5-on-5. Okay, we'll play 5-on-5 because they want to compete. And, we're not doing as much drill work. These older guys have kind of seen it all. The other day, Emmanuel threw some stuff out that we hadn't really seen in the past. And our guys do a pretty good job of locking down that stuff.
Tyshaun, you're going on the road, to Coach's point. You go to Georgia College tonight when this gets released, and then who's it Saturday?
Young Harris.
Especially Young Harris. I think they're undefeated, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you've done such a great job of staying out of foul trouble. You picked up your 4th with 4:49 left Saturday, and I saw you motion to Coach, leave me in. He left you in. You usually don't even get in foul trouble. When you can, you've been able to play through it. Playing with two against Catawba in the first half made a big difference in that win as well. You go on the road, you're going to have to, different officials. Maybe the Peach Belt officials travel everywhere, but you're going to have to stay on the floor, right?
We just got to stay together, stay with the plan. Play good defense, get stops. That's all it is.
Yeah, how do you do that though? Because you used to, everybody, Dean Williams before you used to struggle with foul trouble early in his career, and then he kind of figured it out. Mm-hmm. You seem to have figured it out too. How do you stay on the floor, and not have to sit with fouls?
I think it's more of a conditioning thing, being able to think later, like when you're tired, just being able, because a lot of the times before I used to get so tired and I wouldn't be able to get a stop, and they would go right to my man, and then he would just attack me full speed, and I would just try to stop it as much as I could. But just being mindful on defense that you got help, knowing that if you get this stop, that somebody else might get a stop, or it might show somebody else that they need to get a stop. So just staying with it.
Well, one thing, and Tyree was bad about early in the year, like, you want to defend, but it's not football. We're going to get the ball back. It's not like it's going to be 7-0. On the first play of the game, if you get beat, you don't just foul somebody, and that's maturity. And Tyree was bad about early in the year putting hands on people. I said, you're picking up your first foul before like the first media timeout by just putting your hands on somebody. So it's a maturity, and sometimes you get a little too juiced out there. You want to try to do too much. And Darren did the other day with Garden KJ. You want to lock in so much that you put your hands on people, the referee's going to call it. So it's a challenge, but he's been better about that. And, as you get good, you get a little more respect from officials. And, sometimes we'll take him out of the game. He'll look at me because I can sense when they're going to call a foul on him. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, they're getting ready to call a foul. Let's go ahead and sub him out, because you can see the contact occurring, and you don't want, you don't want him picking up a bad one, retaliating somebody.
Yeah, I forgot. Tyree has had a little bit of trouble with foul trouble this year, and he got that call on him for blocking out the other day, and I heard him say to the bench, "I'm not blocking out the rest of the season." I assume he's gotten over that anger.
Yeah. That was a good line.
Okay, well, thanks for watching the Dip Mitra show. The guys are going out of town, like we said, Georgia College Wednesday and Young Harris Saturday. But next Wednesday, Lander at home, 7:30. That would be the 11th of January. Come watch the Jags. You saw the video at the beginning from Carlos Rodriguez. It's exciting basketball, high-level elite basketball. Thanks to Get Up Productions for filming, editing, and producing the Dip Mitra show. You can find them at getupproductions.com and on Instagram at getup.productions, and AugustaJags.com and at AugustaJags on social media is a way to follow the 11th ranked Augusta University Jaguars. We're 11-1. All the rest of the games, the next 16. The next 16 games of the season are all Peach Belt Conference games, and then we'll be into the Peach Belt Conference tournament. Hopefully the NCAA tournament after that. Don't miss the action.